What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr Wargames, bringing you fun, can be done cheaply if you don't run the Teratop and Xavier engine, UA deck profile. So this set came out ages ago and it never really took off the way it should. It's a really fun deck and it's just missing that piece, and Konami never really continued to go on with it. But anyway, I'm going to crash it onto it. Put it through its paces. It's a nice little anti-meta kind of fun deck that can do really well. Now this deck is a bit more expensive, but I'll show you what you can take out to make it a lot cheaper, because it's really only the one engine that makes it stupid money. So without further ado, we'll go straight in. So you play triple UA midfielder. This is your only level 4 UA monster. Basically, you special summon this card from your hand by returning one UA monster. All UA monsters share that effect, except themselves. You can only special summon UA midfielder once per turn, exactly the same as the rest. So this is where the effects differ. So during either player's turn, you can target one other UA monster you control, return that face-up monster to the hand, then special summon one UA monster from your hand with a different name from that monster. You can only use the effect once per turn. So that's midfielder's main effect. Next up, you play 2 Perfect Ace. Now 2 Perfect Ace is your defensive one that you put during... You do all your shenanigans and then put this down during your end phase in defense mode. So basically you special summon it by returning a UA monster from field to hand, except itself. And then you can only special summon once per turn. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, when a card or effect is activated, you can discard one card and negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. It's a quick effect. So he is your... There's a couple of defensive cards in there and then all offensive cards. So the way the kind of deck works is you get midfielder to board, which is the challenging bit. Then you just keep bouncing stuff back and forth from your field to hand, going offensively during the battle phase and then swapping out and going defensively during the end phase. So Perfect Ace lets you discard and negate. Next up is your offensive level 5, before I drop him. So the offensive level 5 is UA Mighty Slugger. This is basically your Armades of the deck. So his main effect is once per turn, if this card attacks your opponent... not once per turn. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. So it's basically a 23 beta Armades. Straightforward on that one. Next up, UA Rival Rebounder. This card's... the higher they get, the better they kind of get. Their effects are quite nicely. So once per turn, if this card is special summoned during your opponent's turn, so Call of the Haunted, which is why I play that in deck, or normal summoned, you can special summon one UA monster from your hand or graveyard except itself. You can only use the effect once per turn. So you either Call of the Haunted during your opponent's turn and it's a 2 for 1, or you normal summon it by tributing off one card, and then you get to bring back that tributed card. So it's quite a nice little 2 for 1 offer. Next one, UA Dreadnought Dunker. Now if you can play this guy more, he's just the one that clogs more because he's a 2 tribute card. So I like to try and keep them at 1. But his effect is really good. So once per turn, if this card attacks a defensive position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. When this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. So he's a very nice target and pop guy. Play 1 UA Playmaker. This guy can come out to be your second Dreadnought. I just quite like this guy because basically his effect is when another UA monster you control declares an attack, you can have this card lose 800 attack, and if you do, your attacking monster gains 800. So I mean, if you're stuck with him and midfielder on board, you attack with this guy for a 26 beta, use his effect, and make midfielder a 2k. So he's not integral. You can easily take this out for a Dreadnought if you want, or the deck is at 41, so you can just cut him completely. But you want to make sure you have those UAs in hand to be bouncing back. Next up is UA Blockbacker, tongue-tied. So he's another defensive one. So when your opponent special summons a monster or monsters, you can change their battle position, and if you do, negate their effects. So he's a very nice kind of like sitting with a big booty, defending, and then negate effects when they're special summoned. Goalkeeper is another interesting one. Basically, his effect is once per turn during your opponent's turn, you can target one UA monster you control. Once during this turn, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. So we can protect it if you're sitting on him in defense, and your opponent's like, yes, I've got a really big beater, I'm now going to beat over you, you can use this effect to keep them alive, so they can't clear your board as easy as they would like to. So that's it for the UA engine. So it's a nice little standard. These are all really cheap. They're just a little bit harder to find because they came out in such old sets. I say old sets, it's like Duelist Alliance and New Challengers, but still. Next up, we play the Teratop engine. Now, the reason we play the Teratop engine with the ability to go into it twice is because I play two MX Saber Invokers. Now, this is where the money comes in. Unfortunately, MX Saber is really expensive at the moment, especially with Janishishis, and the Teratop engine, until it gets hit in the ban list, is also hunted. Now, I did used to play Reborn Tengu and the Fire and Itans. It's just to basically keep that monster on board. Should you not get into your midfielder, you still got something on board to tribute off. And then as soon as you get a UA on board, you can start bouncing back. However, obviously the Teratop engine going into MX Saber Invoker allows you to special summon your midfielder from deck and just gives you a quicker and easier option to him. And then also to help out get your midfielder out is a double summoner monk. Now obviously this helps with your rank 4 plays and also he helps get your midfielder out. So that's it for the monsters, very standard on that. You can put maxis in here if you want, but the lineup is quite tight as it is with monsters. So, now to the spells. Probably the most important spell, or one of the most important spells in the deck, is triple UA Stadium. So this card is pretty amazing. If a UA monster is normal summoned to your side of the field, you can add one UA monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn, if a UA monster or monsters is special summoned to your side of the field, all monsters you control currently control gain 500 attack. So it boosts all monsters, and the best thing about it is it stacks. So the combo you kind of go with is one way or another you get a UA to field. So you would normal summon midfielder. Then if you've got nothing in your hand, you can decide what you want to... So if you're going second, you can use UA Stadium to search out maybe your strongest one. So let's go with Playmaker. You bounce back midfielder, Playmaker goes straight up to a 31 attack. Now your next turn, should you keep this going, you normal summon midfielder. You search out, let's go with Mighty Slugger, just so you've got an Armades on board. Bouncing back, you got Slugger. So he now gets an extra 500, so he's now 36. And Slugger goes up to 28. So 28 Armades. Now obviously you can't then go, for example, you couldn't go bounce back Slugger, special, goalkeeper, he gets another 500, bounce that back, go into another UA you haven't, block backer, he gets another 500, like all in one turn. But it just constantly helps you stack, and the fact that it's not exclusive to UA monsters, it helps boost it helps boost your XYZs as well. So I play that, and also play the one terraforming. Obviously, you can bump this up. In the Summoner Monk build, you probably bump this up a lot more, just so you know you're seeing the UA Stadium. But you want to kind of keep the balance of the deck as is. Next up is the second most important spell in the deck, Triple UA Power Jersey. Now this helps you get OTKs. It's amazing. So equipped only to a UA monster, it gains 1,000 attack and defense. Also, if it battles an opponent's monster, any battle damage it inflicts to your opponent is doubled. So let's say you use Dreadnought, which is doing piercing. It's doing piercing battle damage, doubling it as well. If the equipped monster destroys a monster by its attack, it can make a second attack during the battle phase. During your standby phase, banish the equipped monster. If this card is sent to the graveyard because the equipped monster returned to the hand, you can return this card to the hand as well. So there's a really nice way you can circle this as well. So if you have normal midfielder, tag midfielder out for, it doesn't matter for now, Slugger, give Slugger the jersey, Armades, so they're not doing anything. So you're literally going to go attack, attack, obviously if you destroy a monster by battle, then you can bounce this guy back and let's say go for perfect ace if you've got that in hand. You've now got the defensive, jersey comes back to you. If you want to be more protective, you could put jersey down there as well, but I wouldn't recommend it. But you've just cycled your jersey back to hand, so you're ready to go next turn if your opponent can't clear and beat you that turn anyway. Next up, I play double sign-in deal. You can put this to 3. This obviously helps unclog your stuff as well. So you special summon one UA monster from your deck, but its effects are negated. Also, it cannot be used as synchro or XYZs for a summon. Then you lose life points equal to the level of the monster you special summon by this effect times 300. Now, you can only activate once per turn. Now, obviously, if you're really stuck, you can bring out your level 5s to search those off. Otherwise, usually you're going into your midfielder to bounce it back anyway. So the fact that it's effects negated is fine because it's the monsters in hands effect that you're activating to drop them down and bounce them out. Double MST just to clear out back row. These can be twin twisters if you want. I just personally like MSTs at the moment. One Monarch Stormforth just to help you get your other monsters out. Reasoning, because you run so many different levels, you've got, including your Terratop engines, you've got 3, 4s, 5s, 6, 7s, 8s, and I'm pretty sure there's a 10 in there somewhere. Let's have a look. So you got your 5, you got your 6, you got your 4, more 5s, 3s, 7s, 6s. So yeah, you've got 3 to 7 in that deck. So you've got a nice range for reasoning, and then the one Rhoda, just to kind of couple with the UA signing deal. Again, you can bump UA signing deal up if you want. It's completely open to you. Next up, just standard track lineup apart from these. So I've got two UA penalty box. Now the reason I've only got 2 is because it doesn't stack, so it can get quite cloggy. But at the start of the damage step, if your UA monster battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster until your opponent's second end phase. You can only use the effect of UA penalty box once per turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 UA spell card from your deck to your hand. Now, with the new Foolish Burial coming out, the Foolish Burial for spells and traps, if it's cheap, you could probably put it in here, to be totally honest, because then you can send UA penalty box, play UA penalty box at 3, send this, banish it, add the spells, and you just keep going a little bit faster. You can put that up to 3 as well if you want to. I've personally just found it a little bit too cloggy. 2 Call of the Haunteds, just to work with your rebounder, and obviously if you do XYZs or whatever and you get rid of your midfielder, you can bring him back and then bounce him out and go again. 1 Solemn Warning and 1 Vanities. Vanities can hurt you, but it's just such a nice lockdown card at the moment. You kind of have to play it. Now onto the extra deck. So we play 3 7s, which is Draco Sack, Big Eye and Red Eyes. Probably the best 3 level 7s in the game. Play 2 6s because there's less ways of making it. So a Beatrice, because obviously Beatrice can help dump the penalty box. And Photon Strike Bowser, because again it's probably one of the best level 6s. 2 level 5s, you've got Winder Arsenal Zenmaier and number 61 Volcasaurus. Again, probably 2 of the better level 5s in the game in today's day and age. Then it's more rank 4s. Now you don't really have to be going into these for the pure fact that the deck kind of revolves around just bouncing monsters back, using the stadium to give them more boost, and then hopefully finishing off your opponent. But you've got the extra deck just in case you need it. So we've got Gargar Samurai, very nice protecting rank 4, Dark Rebellion, Abyss Dweller, Castell, Cowboy, and then onto your level 3s. So your double MX Saber Invoker, that's where it's expensive, and then your 1 Totem Bird. So if you want to, you can cut the Invokers out, and depending on what you put in the deck, so if you were to cut out, let's say we cut out the Terratop engine there, so we want to make this more budget, you cut out the Terratop engine. You can probably put in your 3rd sign-in deal. You can probably put in more terraforms if you want, so you've got more targets for your Summoner Monk. You can put in your 3rd penalty box. But then monster-wise, you could probably put in 3 Fire Hands and 2 Ice Hands, or put in some Reborn Tengus, or just cards that float, basically, is what you're looking for. You can even put a Glow Up Bulb in here and turn this into a Synchro deck. That works really nicely. But then you're just focusing more on generic kind of Synchro cards, which there are quite a few out nowadays. It's just finding the right ones that work for you. Obviously, if you do put Glow Up Bulb, you can mix it with midfielder and you can make Nat Beast. So, happy days on that one. Yeah, that is kind of it for the deck profile. I will do some test stands just so you guys can see, you know, how to play the deck and consistencies and whatnot. But it's just to give you an idea of a cheap deck that's really fun to play. Yeah, it's just a bit of a change from the standard, you know, all-out meta. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Give us a big thumbs up on the video. And as always, guys, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course, duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left-hand corner.